This is Linfield College, a fully accredited independent liberal arts college. It lies in Oregon's most fertile land, the Willamette Valley. Just 40 minutes drive from the city of Portland and an hour from either the Cascade Mountains or the beaches of the Pacific Ocean. Linfield is located in McMinnville, Oregon, a moderate-sized agricultural community in the foothills of the Pacific Coast Range. This is home for 1,100 students and over 100 faculty personnel. In 1854, Sebastian Adams laid out the town of McMinnville. Soon after, Linfield College was founded by the Baptists and established as the Baptist College in McMinnville. With an enrollment of 44 students, the college was incorporated in January 1858. Today, it stands as one of the West's oldest institutions of higher learning. The oldest landmark on the campus is Pioneer Hall, built in 1883. At that time, it held the entire campus. After the First World War, important curricular changes were made. New departments of home economics, education, and business administration were added. More emphasis was placed on the political and social sciences rather than the traditional classics. In 1921, Riley Gymnasium was built as a one-room gym. Today, it has grown and become remodeled to be the multi-purpose Riley Student Center with student body offices, game rooms, snack bar, and fireside room. The year 1928 and the addition of Melrose Hall marked the end of a 6-year period of growth in the physical structure of the college, begun when Mrs. Frances Ross Linfield made a gift to the school, whereupon McMinnville College became Linfield College. Linfield has since come a long way. Today, the campus is situated in 38 buildings on 85 acres, and there are over 24 accredited departments and majors. More recently, the college has begun a new period of academic growth. One of the newest additions to the curriculum is the core system. It is geared toward exposing students to many areas outside, yet interrelated to their particular majors. Through innovative and creative workshops, projects, discussion groups, and lectures, related disciplines are brought together, such as art and music, history and literature, sociology and psychology. This core class is concerned with the process of leadership. Yesterday, Professor Carlisle of the Economics Department discussed the selection of corporate business heads. Today, Professor Daly of the Political Science Department relates the selection of political leaders and political party systems.
Sometimes, of course, it gets more dramatic than that. You have people who simply do not agree fundamentally and very basically often on all kinds of things. And theoretically, a political party is supposed to find a way of compromising these differences. It is supposed to hold the system together then. And the way it can do so is by having under one umbrella, having under one party, people of very different political persuasions, very different ways of thinking, in other words, about elements of the American system. In other words, it can use the old labels of liberal and conservative. We'll note that under both parties there are liberals and under both parties there are conservatives. No one party can be considered the liberal party. You can't really say the Democratic Party is the liberal party in the United States.
In the case of the American System Core course that I co-teach with an economist, we found that the two disciplines of political science and economics work quite nicely together. We really had very little difficulty making the core work. There's a certain excitement in simply learning that the difference between economics and politics is minimal. And that there are more disadvantages to trying to separate the disciplines and teach just an American economics or just an American politics course. There are more disadvantages in that approach than there are advantages in trying to teach students that the two disciplines complement each other and that the United States is a very complex, intertwined system of which economics and politics are two parts. And I think it teaches students an awareness of how these two disciplines overlap and how America really works.
At Linfield, research and experimentation are not limited to the science departments. Students and professors alike pursue new ideas and methods. Here in the history department, research is especially emphasized, for Linfield is located in one of the major areas of the westward expansion. Professor Beckham has found it hard to remain in an ivory tower of seclusion. He has worked for the college and the community in producing a book, various magazine articles, and most recently, a television series on the Indians of the Pacific Coast. Students have also taken on research projects on the pioneers and missionaries of the area. It is through teaching methods like these that Professor Beckham makes history become more than just another subject.
Talk about progressivism and the new nationalism, which was the program of Teddy Roosevelt when he was President of the United States. We had best define some terms. Among the terms that we should define is that word progressive. Progressive or progressives are the people. Control of the seas and what?
Commercial. Build up a commercial fleet or a merchant fleet for commercial warfare.
A naval
fleet or naval fleet for military warfare. That a canal should be built or something.
All right, the building of the canal and the acquisition of colonies. And Mahan had written those books, Sea Power and Their Influence on History. Roosevelt tried to put these ideas into operation. He purchased ships. He consolidated vessels to create fleets. He built up coaling stations and coal reserves at American outposts around the world. And he agitated for appropriations for additional vessels. Faithfully and for all concerned. In February 1898, the Secretary of the Navy, a man named Blum, took the afternoon off, leaving Teddy Roosevelt in the office. Thus, the Assistant Secretary of Navy suddenly saw himself Secretary of the Navy.
In 1968, President Bjork began his term as the youngest college president in the country. He had already gained prominence in the field of economics as a Rhodes Scholar, a graduate professor at Columbia University, and as an aide to both Senator Jacob Javits and Martin Luther King.
Linfield has a very interesting past. I guess that the present character of the college is very much determined by its history and by its geographic setting. Whenever people ask me to say what's different about Linfield, I think that the most important difference about Linfield is something which is very difficult to describe, and it's a feeling, an attitude, a set of relationships between people which is unique. It's traditionally been expressed by reference to the Linfield hello, which may seem a bit corny, but people relate to one another on this campus in a very real way. This creates a situation which is very hospitable to the development of people as honest individuals. It fosters an environment in which learning takes place in a very effective way. So when one is talking about the past and how it's affected the present at Linfield, I would say that the present character of the college is determined to a great extent by the history and development. What's Linfield like today? Well, it's a very friendly place, 100-odd faculty, 1,100-odd students. The curriculum is a very well thought out one, and its primary purpose is to allow people to interact in a way which will stimulate their own intellectual and social development. Those are the most important things about Linfield College today. Linfield College tomorrow, I see us continuing to capitalize on these strengths of attitude and human relationship. I see the college facing the needs of tomorrow in a way which will help our graduates to cope with the accelerating pace of change. It's a very exciting place to be. If I were thinking about the place that I'd like to be in 1972 or in 1975, I think that this is one place where the educational action is.
This is a parasitology lab. This is a class in sculpture. At first glance, these classes have little in common, yet both professors are working closely with students. At Linfield, we believe it's important to work together. This enables the student to specialize and the professor to guide in a more personal, complete learning experience.
I got one.
And who else? You should have seen those things upstairs. Smart.
Yeah, were there 11?
The structure, no, the structure slides. I showed the pictures of the larger structure. I wanted you to see. Well, that's it. It won't take long. And if you, for instance, you could get help conceivably if it's done during flying foul fair time. You know, because if you want to see one of these in large size, I think something like this you could put together. The assembly of it wouldn't take that long. The fact is, it's got to be done quickly because you might not have the weather. You know, so you could work out all the details beforehand. The systematic approach you'll use in assembly, you know.